Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name's Duncan Lutz. I'm a professional software engineer, and today we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, the sensual. Oh yeah. JavaScript. So why is JavaScript so controversial? I think probably it has something to do with the fact that people are forced to interact with it. Since it became the standard in browsers, basically everybody in the industry has to know a little bit of JavaScript at least. They have to work with it every once in a while. And so exposure equals frustration equals controversy. But today we're not here to talk about the controversy surrounding JavaScript. I'm here to give you my 3 reasons why I don't think you should learn JavaScript yet. Now, do I think you should learn JavaScript at some point? Yeah, you're probably gonna have to. Like I said, basically everybody has to interact with JavaScript from time to time, but I think that there are some steps you can take beforehand in order to optimize your experience in learning JavaScript and your confidence around working in the language. So let's get into it. Reason number 1 why I don't think you should learn JavaScript yet is that JavaScript is a soft type language. So if you're not familiar, in programming, there's kind of 2 different schools of language. There's soft typed and there's hard typed languages. Hard typed languages enforce the data type that you assign variables to. So if I'm creating an integer or a number, I'm not allowed to change that into a string down the line. In a soft type language, we don't have that. So I can create a string and change it to a number down the line, and change it to an array down the line, and change it to an object down the line. Do I think that that's bad inherently? No, there are definitely use cases for both hard and soft type languages, but the real disadvantage to learning JavaScript first is that you have the opportunity to run into more frustrating scenarios. So for example, error handling may not be as clear, which can lead to a lot of frustration because you're not being helped along the way by your editor or your compiler. So if you're working in TypeScript, which is more of a hard typed language than JavaScript, it's going to enforce that if I have a property on an object that isn't marked as optional, that it has to be there. Whereas in JavaScript, if that property's not there, I might forget about it and it'll throw an error down the line. That's very frustrating. I did this myself when I was first learning JavaScript. Lots of hair pulling and banging my head against the wall because it would just say, oh, the property's not there, and I'd have to go back and dig through all of my code to find where I forgot to set that property. The second reason why I don't think you should learn JavaScript yet is that JavaScript has a lot of weird quirks around it that don't necessarily apply to other languages. Now, of course, this is going to be true across languages. Every language is going to have its own things that make it unique. JavaScript has its own pile of these things that are a little bit weird about it. For example, in variable comparisons, double equals versus triple equals in JavaScript. Originally in JavaScript, they thought it was a good idea too. When you compared 2 variables, first coerce both of the variables into the same type before comparing them. So what that means is I could take a number, 0, and the letter 0 or the character 0 in a string and compare them and it would return true. When really that's not the case, and that can lead to a lot of unexpected behaviors, which is the enemy of good programming. You don't want unexpected behaviors. So different quirks around JavaScript, mapping functions and things that maybe won't be there in other languages can inhibit your ability to move on from JavaScript should you ever have to. So that's my second reason why I don't think you should learn JavaScript yet. My third reason why I don't think you should learn JavaScript yet is the community around JavaScript, specifically for beginners. Now, what do I mean by that? Because of its position in the industry as such an important language to learn, and it's perceived as an easier language to learn, a lot of the videos and resources around JavaScript are focused on teaching you it as quick as you can so you can go get a job. And on one hand, that's really great because it allows beginners to have more opportunities and they can go and get a job faster. But on the other hand, I find that it tends to kind of skip over learning the fundamentals of programming and skip right to learning the fundamentals of JavaScript. Now, why is that a bad thing? So me personally, I did learn JavaScript as my first programming language. I spent a lot of time learning it, and eventually I managed to get a job, but the job wasn't in JavaScript. The job was in Python and doing a lot of data manipulation work. And as a result of that, I had to take a step back and actually go and learn some more of the fundamentals of computer science in order to get myself up to speed. I didn't know what an integer was or what a float was. I didn't know the difference between like a string and a character. and working in databases and these situations that maybe don't get taught as often in a JavaScript beginner's world, because they just want to teach you how to write a simple React app and get you out there. I kind of compare it to learning algebra before learning your times tables, is maybe you can figure it out, but eventually you're gonna have to know what 9 times 9 is, and you might not have your calculator there. And as a result of that, you're gonna have a higher rate of failure, you're gonna get frustrated, you're gonna get even worse imposter syndrome than you already will have. And so that's why I think you should probably take a step back before you go chasing JavaScript and learn some basics around computer science, learn some data structures and some basic algorithms and things that will give you a better base so that you can go and attack JavaScript. It'll make you more confident. You're gonna have better error handling abilities. You're gonna be able to track down problems and build solutions easier. So what would I recommend? First, Harvard CS50 course. I personally have taken this course. I think that it's a really great resource. It starts by teaching you C. C, if you're unfamiliar, was released in the 1970s. It's what the Unix operating system is built on. It's a very important language, and a lot of people consider it the father of all modern programming languages. It takes you through those steps. You get to work in the terminal. You get to learn basic computer science concepts like for loops and while loops and creating variables and data types and all of these things that do apply across languages. Then it lets you do some Python. I think that's also advantageous. Working in a couple of different languages is a really good way to abstract the concepts that you're working with. But more importantly, it has a lot of structure that I think a lot of people would thrive under. And it's free. It's free, and it is kind of do it your own schedule. You can make it work as you go. So for those reasons, Harvard CS50 is a big recommendation. And then number 2 is the Primogen's Data Structures and Algorithms course on Front-End Masters. That's also free. It's a little bit more advanced. You're gonna be doing some TypeScript. And so I would say do the CS50 course first, but data structures and algorithms are another one of those things that I wish I had had a deeper knowledge of when I first started programming. And there are these free resources out there that let you go and learn them and get a better grasp on them. And that's also due on your own pace. It's all online. Why not go take advantage of it? It's there for free. So that's everything I have today. If you did like this video or you learned anything, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. All of the resources I talked about are linked in the description. Leave comments below, either good or bad, what you think about my opinions. Do you think that you should learn JavaScript first? Why or why not? Maybe you should learn Python first. Let me know in the comments. Thank you and have a good day. I'm gonna stop doing these hands. I'm gonna put them down. Thank you and have a good day.